Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Talk of Football Daily, and I'm your host Kennedy, and I'll be talking to you about what's going on in the world of football. So today we have some trending topics. Rudiger is in the news. Copa Del Rey final, big game last night. How did you see it? Did you love the game? Well, it was enjoyable, but not for everybody. Some people will not be happy at the end of the game, knowing fully well that their club lost. Real Madrid lost the Copa del Rey final yesterday to Barcelona. Very interesting thriller. 5-goal game, extra time, but no penalties. Well, Rudiger is in the news for fighting, throwing an object at the referee. Yeah, he had to do that because he was furious. But there's no excuse for that. He apologized this morning in a statement on social media saying that there's no excuse for his actions and he's sorry. But I don't see him getting away with this. I think that players will be more disciplined. I think the footballing body will discipline and caution players towards aggression on the referee. Players don't have that right to do that, but sometimes I know football can get out of hand, out of control, and it's a classical. I wish we had more games like that in the Premier League, whereby you see more rage. Only Arsenal and Manchester City is giving that energy, that annoyance, that thing that will make fans want to watch football. Now you just see players shaking each other, hugging, and their rival. They're supposed to be fighting, not hugging and exchanging phone numbers on the field. It's supposed to be aggressive, play the ball. You don't see Barcelona and Real Madrid players shaking hands, smiling, and going out on family trips. They don't do that. Yeah, I know they can be friends in real life. Some of them probably play for the same national team, but there is this seriousness when it comes to football. This is the rivalry, and we have to defeat these guys. These are the bad guys. We are the good guys, or we are the bad guys. They are the good guys. I like that energy. I like how Rudiger put his passion into playing for Madrid. I like how he composed himself on the field. I like that energy that they want to win for Madrid. They want to win for Carlo Ancelotti. I like that thing. So I saw how Barcelona composed themselves even without Lewandowski. I like the way they play. I like how Lamine Yamal hold the ball. I wish you can have more rivalry games like that in the Premier League. It's very interesting. Well, beautiful game. Kylian Mbappe wasn't fit, so he couldn't start the game. He came on halftime and he changed the game with a beautiful free kick. You can see the energy. You can see how he played the ball when he came on. Well, the only person I'm not really feeling at the moment, I'm not really feeling it. I'm not saying it's a problem, but I'm not really feeling him. Is Vinicius Junior. I feel like he's trying to prove something to everybody. He should just be himself. He's a spectacular guy. He's amazing. He should have been uh, Ballon d'Or winner last year, but it didn't happen for him. So I feel like he should just be himself and not try to do too much. He's enough just by being Vinicius Junior. It's enough, and that should be okay for him. But because he's trying so hard, that's why it's looking like his game is not. It's not on his edge right now. This is not Vinicius prime. Yeah, but he's not the problem of Madrid. I don't even think Madrid has a problem. I just think it's not their year this year. I don't think Madrid has issues. I saw the way they played last night. I saw how they put in their hearts to the game. There was no Madrid player that was a weak link. There was no one that was weak. I like the way they played the ball. They came out to play. It was like a war. So Copa del Rey final was a thriller, amazing game to watch. I'm happy I didn't miss it. Then there are upcoming games today. We saw yesterday Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. Crystal Palace defeated Aston Villa by 3 goals to nil in the FA Cup semi-final. Yeah, good game, good game. We keep underrating Crystal Palace every time, and they keep showing us why they are important, why we should watch their games, why they are not boring on the eye. Crystal Palace, you see Eze, you see Sai, you see Mateta. Those guys have content, they have substance, they know what to do on the field. So I was surprised Aston Villa didn't even have answers to the questions that Crystal Palace asked them yesterday. Aston Villa was just, to think that they have a very good coach in Unai Emery, to think that they signed a lot of players in the January transfer window, to think that they won their last 5 games in the Premier League, except the last one they played, which was the sixth one with Manchester City. Who would think that Crystal Palace would defeat Aston Villa twice this season, 4-1 in the Premier League and 3-0 in the FA Cup semi-final. Now we have another game today, Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest. Good game to watch. I'm rooting for Nottingham Forest because I always like to see the underdog win, and I feel like Manchester City has won almost everything in the Premier League, won everything, and they just keep winning. So I like to see them take a chill this year, but we know that Manchester City are a juggernaut, and we know that they can compose themselves and know how to get a win from Nottingham Forest. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I would love to see that game, and I will. So another thing is that Wolves have won 6 times in the Premier League in the last 6 games. They just defeated Leicester and they have won 6 times. Wolves, They didn't start the season very well. They were very poor at the beginning of the season, just like Crystal Palace. But see how things change. See as they pick form. See as they're getting better. I feel like there's hope for Wolves. But one thing I don't like is the disparity, like the distance between the Premier League and the Championship, Tier 1 and Tier 2 football. The gap is too far. They need to find a way to bridge that gap. Maybe 5 clubs should go on relegation. Maybe number 16 should play relegation playoff. Number 16 and 15 should play relegation playoff. Let there be consequence for Premier League clubs, because it looks like no matter how bad they play, they just keep getting away with it. Next year they'll be in the Premier League. Aston Villa, sorry, not Aston Villa, Everton, Wolves, Man United, Tottenham. I mean, clubs that are playing very poorly this season. It's like they're getting away with it because there's so much gap between the Premier League and the Championship. So English Tier 1 football and English Tier 2 football, there's too much distance. We saw in German league the other day how Bayern Leverkusen lost to a club that is even like a Tier 3. We saw the other day in the, I think it was FA Cup. I think Liverpool lost to Preston in the FA Cup. That was beautiful in the eye. Brentford lost too, I think, to Preston again. That was beautiful to watch. I like to see that kind of thing. I like to see where the underdogs win. Although it's not good for people that play games and play bets and take odds and predict games, because it could be an upset, but it's good for football. It's good that Real Madrid did not win the Champions League this year. 15-time champion. It's very good for football, so you don't get too boring. It's good that Manchester City is not winning the Premier League this year. So I like to see some teams in the Premier League get relegated. I like to see the West Hams. I'm not saying I wish them downfall, but the West Hams, the Evertons, the Wolves. I mean, if you play poorly, there should be a consequence. But they keep getting away with it because they know that the Ipswich, the Southamptons, and the Leicester are too weak. They are not good enough for the Premier League. So no matter how they try, they get relegated, and they come back again and they get relegated too. It's becoming too boring. But that's that on the Premier League. I want to talk about Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen's contract, it will end. His time with Galatasaray should be over by the end of the season. We're expecting that he leaves Galatasaray. But the question is, who's going to sign Victor Osimhen? Who's going to pay him his 12 million annual salary every year? So he's not going to take a pay cut from his salary. His salary is going to remain the same. So you can sign him for whatever amount you want to play Napoli, but I think around 75 million euros should do it. But he will not take a pay cut, and that's why he's having issues in his salary. But I feel like with a good agent, good people that love you, having the right people around you. I mean, Victor Osimhen has scored 30 goals for Galatasaray. He's doing so well, even for his national team Nigeria. He's playing so well, beautiful football. We love him. So I hope to see him settle in a very good club that he'll feel good there. Not where they will tell him that, oh guy, we have to give you a pay cut. We have to take some of your money. I don't think it's unfair. I don't think it's fair to a player of that caliber. He's worth it, man. He's our Ronaldo. He's that big. He's that great. Victor Osimhen is excellent. So that's that on Victor Osimhen. I've talked about Rudiger. I talked about the red card. Okay, maybe I didn't see it. There were 3 red cards in the Copa del Rey final. 3 red cards: Bellingham, Lucas Vasquez, and Antonio Rudiger. All 3 red cards. It was not hilarious. It was too much. It was too much. The energy that we saw last night was just too much. Then there are games that will happen today. We have the Liverpool versus Tottenham. Liverpool only need 1 point to secure the Premier League, although it's already secured since December. Then the Bournemouth and Man U playing today. I don't know why. I don't even know what they are playing for. Manchester United cares about the Europa League, winning the Europa League. I don't know if they'll put enough energy into this Bournemouth game, knowing fully well that they've lost twice to Bournemouth, 3-0, 3-0. Last season they lost 3-0 to Bournemouth, and this season they lost 3-0 to Bournemouth again. So I don't know, expecting the Bournemouth win, but I don't know with Manchester United, maybe only when they see a big club that they play very well, but when they see the small teams, they just let them just mess up. We saw how they played the other day. I don't really like how Manchester United compose themselves. I don't really enjoy watching their games anymore because I want to see Manchester United do well. I want to see the top 6 come back, but it is looking very unlikely. Except Manchester United can win the Europa League, then maybe there will be a change. Then we have the Nottingham Forest, Manchester City. I'm looking forward to this game. I hope Nottingham Forest can give Manchester City problem. I wouldn't like Manchester City to get away with it. Then we have Inter Milan, Roma. This game is very crucial. It's very, very crucial because of the tie on points that Inter Milan has with Napoli, 71 points. I think Napoli also have a game, I think with Torino. Napoli has a game anyways. They have a game today. So it's possible that they will get a win. So Inter Milan has to get a win against Roma. Yeah, it's going to be a very tough game. Looking forward to it. Then Juventus against AC Monza. Juventus has had a very poor run of form this season, but if they could win this game, maybe they could secure their way to the Champions League next season. Then we have Atalanta Lecce, and we have Napoli Torino. That's all. That's all for today. So guys, don't forget to like, comment, and share my video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.